Hey y'all, I'm Brittany, and welcome to Luna's Magic Trunk. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, take the opportunity to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can become a part of our exceptionally ordinary family. And in case you're wondering where I got this necklace from, be sure to check out the very first video I ever uploaded on this channel, the Villains and Dark Objects box unboxing from the Wizarding Trunk. Now for today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of magical crafting, and I am stepping out of my comfort zone by doing some painting. Little bit of background story. I do have a bachelor's of fine arts, but it's in graphic design, not studio art. So I, by no means, am a studio artist. This is just more for funsies, and I thought that maybe you all would enjoy what it is I'm going to be painting today. But for a little bit more background story about how this came to be, check out what got me thinking about doing this painting. So when you walk into our nerd room, you will see all the references of pop culture that we have. My husband and I love Star Wars, Game of Thrones, of course, Harry Potter. This is my side of the nerd room. If you guys want a video on that, let me know. And on this side, you can see just the paintings that are there. And fun fact, these paintings, these black and white paintings, were done by my niece and myself. So these paintings I actually ended up getting from one of those places where you drink and paint. They were going out of business, and I was so lucky to get my hands on these paintings of the Golden Trio. The fact that there was a missing spot just really bothered me. All right, so before we can head off to start doing our Hedwig painting, we're going to need to take a trip down to Diagon Alley for some supplies. So you're first going to need a blank canvas. I ended up using 16 by 20. You're also going to need white, black, and yellow paint. I'll list it in the description box. You're also going to need paper towel, paper plate, and an assortment of paint brushes. And to seal it all, you're going to need Mod Podge and a sponge brush. Now that we have all of our supplies from Diagon Alley, let's make some magic! So I'm starting off with the titanium white. You want to work from lightest to darkest colors. I already have my illustration drawn out here on the canvas, and we're only going to be painting just everywhere but the center. The only areas we're not going to be painting are the beak and the eyes. Those will be different colors. So you'll see here that I am loading up, or I will be loading up on the paint. I am dry brushing. I'm not dipping the brush into water. I know some people do that ahead of time, but I don't. And I'm also just brushing off any excess of the paint. And a pro tip will be to just paint in one direction. If that's up and down, left or right, this just makes the overall finished painting look a lot cleaner, if you will. So once I've actually covered most of the canvas, I go back in with a smaller brush for detailing just those little crevices, those little sharp edges that I can't do that with the large flat brush. But to smooth all those brush strokes out, I will go back with that large brush again. And another tip that may help you to find any missing spots is to tilt your canvas to kind of get that reflection. You can tell the difference between the naked canvas and then the paint because there is a sheen. With the yellow, I rather have more than not enough to cover the canvas, just because you might have to use multiple layers in order to get the opaqueness that you are looking for.
So once you have a good majority of your area painted in the color that you're working with, again, go back in with a smaller detailing brush. That way you can get those corners, try to smooth out those curves, and just take your time with all of this. So with working with black paint, you definitely want to take your time just because it's harder to cover up black paint as opposed to any other color. I should have really taken my time with working these different areas, but you'll see what I'm talking about later. And of course, using a smaller detailing brush, you can see there I just made a little hiccup, but I tried to correct that as best as I could by small strokes to try to point out the beak. Black will require multiple layers just to make sure that you have the opaqueness. And this is where it started going south for me. Make sure your hands are clean. You can see that yellow spot right there on the white paint. But I wasn't using the right brush. The strokes were coming far too thick, and I just started getting really frustrated. Again, you can just see it. I was getting frustrated. By the time I got to the feathers, it's just like, all right, let's just be over and done with it. I really just was not happy with how things were going, and I just wanted it to be done. And this is the final reveal of my Hedwig painting. It's not 100%, of course. You can still see the black underneath the many layers of white, but I am a lot happier with this outcome. And once this gets into focus, you can see I added a little dot of white on Hedwig's eyes. I did that with the back of a paintbrush, just dipped it into the paint and very carefully dipped that paint onto the eyes. With a Dollar Tree sponge brush and the matte Mod Podge, I am sealing the paint in the same up and down strokes that I did with the white paint. And make sure to apply a thin coat. You might want to apply multiple coats, but just follow the directions for the matte Mod Podge.
Now, one thing I also did do was to add the Velcro command strips to the back of the painting. It's just something that I have all around my house because I do live in an apartment and it's very apartment safe friendly. Just make sure to follow the instructions to prep your wall and hang the art piece accordingly. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed painting despite getting a little frustrated, but that's okay, it happens. Be sure to like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back next week with a new video for you to enjoy.